This program is dedicated to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces, past, present, and future. I'm Keith Warren. I'm a hunter.
What do you think of that? Yeah. Woo!
A fisherman.
2 fish on at one time? Oh my gosh!
A conservationist.
Hey, let go of that nipple. You're done. You're finished.
A family man.
Life is good. I love you, baby.
Love you too.
And I'm proud to be a deer farmer. I'm taking a road trip, and we're going behind the scenes of today's most innovative deer farmers and wildlife management operations in North America. This is Deer and Wildlife Stories. It's mid-August, and I am in Missouri, just outside of Lake of the Ozarks, at a friend of mine's deer farm. He happens to be, in my opinion, well, he's one of the most important guys in the deer industry today. His name is Kevin Grace. He owns Whitetail Sales and Service. He's got an unbelievable deer farm with some giant deer, and with it being mid-August, they're not even done growing yet. We're going to show you those deer today. And but one other thing Kevin does, he helps his customers to have big deer like this too. And he happens to be, well, he owns the biggest deer auction business in the country. That deer right there, I mean, look at him. He is a nice deer. I mean, he's pretty. I mean, Kevin, you've done a great job. These deer are beautiful. Last year when I came though, there was one deer in particular that I remember, and I'm trying to look and trying to find him because you've got so many giants in here. His name was Payday, right?
Yeah, Payday. Payday's big.
All right, where is Payday? Show me Payday.
Payday's right over there. Last year, he was our biggest 2-year-old, 350 inches with a 233 frame, 26 inside. Just impressive as heck.
Look at that.
This year, he's unreal. He is a giant. That really fits him better than anything. He's 35 and still growing. Look how much growth he's got. And we're in mid-August, but he is not even anywhere close to being done. But I say 35 plus right now. He's gonna stumble into 40 inches inside. I think he's gonna have a 270 plus frame and gross 450.
Well, take a look at the points on him. The points, you can tell he's still got a long way to go because they're all bulbed out still. I mean, they're not starting to point up at all. They're real bulby, so yeah, it's middle of August. He's still got a couple weeks to go, but he puts it on late, doesn't he?
Yeah, did last year too. Last year he had 5 tines over 13 inches too.
Well,
as a 2-year-old.
He's beautiful. I'll tell you what, folks, last year what we did, we had video of him. We're going to show you that video now. Take a look at him last year and compare it to this year. I mean, you know, last year he was a giant, and there's no doubt that, well, he was 2 then, he's 3 now. Take a look at him. What I'd like you to do is go to my Facebook page and let me know what you guess, how many points does Payday have, and how wide is he? And we'll send you a cool prize, the person who gets closest. But that right there, that is a giant right there.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my gosh, okay. Now what was that other deer that I liked so much last year? What was his name?
Beyond belief.
Beyond Belief. Where is he?
Well, after you left here, I don't know if you know this, but he won the Nationals as being the best typical 2-year-old in the country. Won first place in the Nationals for largest typical 2-year-old. This year he's right over there. There he is. This year he's 30 inches wide. He picked up extras, but he's still gonna have a 240, 250 frame. You see it, right? A lot heavier, probably gonna gross 325, 340, somewhere in there. Still has that shock effect look. That's what we're all after.
Look at that. And he's 3?
3 also. They both have the same father. Payday and Beyond Belief both have the same father. Yes.
Goodness gracious. So let me ask you a question. Are all your deer for sale? I set you up on that one.
We got some pet does. I would have employees very flustered if I sold.
No,
Buck-wise, yeah, I think everything, for the most part, I think probably pried out of my fingers if it was a buck.
Okay, I'm going to tell y'all something that Kevin told me, a piece of advice years ago that I've never forgotten. He said, when you go to a deer sale, sell what hurts. Remember telling me that?
That's right.
And why is that?
Because you use auctions for your marketing. What you go into an auction for is to market your farm, to showcase and market your farm. If you're selling animals that are on the low end, and people are watching that sale, they're not going to come visit your farm because everybody wants to go see the best. If you're selling your best stock, they recognize that you have some of the best stock in the sale, and everybody wants to go see how that stock's blooming and blossoming and coming out. So those people are going to come to your farm, you're going to get more visits. Marketing, that's what it's about to be in an auction.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by Bruton Easy Pull Trailers, Deer Guardian Misting Systems, Game Management Software, the North American Deer Farmers Association, Record Rack Deer Feeds, Whitetail Sales and Service, and Newport Labs.
I'm Colin Briggs. I'm the ranch manager here at Whitetail Sales and Service, located just outside of Eldon, Missouri. Some breeders sell deer, and that's all the client gets. When Kevin Grace sells deer, you're getting way more than that. You're getting all his knowledge, experience, know-how in the industry, and that is because he wants to see everybody succeed the way that he has.
You do something annually, a new deer farmer seminar. And there are people that come from all over the country. They may be a new deer farmer, they may not even be a deer farmer yet. They may be an experienced deer farmer. You've got people come from all over the country and you bring them here to your farm. Why is that?
When people see what we're doing, they're going to buy deer from us. We stay sold out every year.
I think that's amazing. I know there's a lot of people that are in the deer farming industry that they don't sell their deer out every year. But Kevin has got a market that literally he's established himself to the point that he sells them out, and I mean, take a look. There's no doubt why. But I want to ask you a question. At your sales, you've got these auctions, and without a doubt, you are the biggest deer auction guy in the country. What is the advice that you would give somebody, a new deer farmer that goes to an auction? What one piece of advice would you give them that would help them out at one of your auctions?
Learn who you're buying from. Make sure that you're getting a support service when you buy from somebody. You know, just don't go to an auction blindly, not know anybody. Build a relationship with someone and make sure that they're going to be there long term. That's something that we pride ourselves at Whitetail Sales. We consult for the industry for the most part, but I'm going to tell you what, when you're involved in our deer breeding program, we are there to help you full turnkey. From marketing, food sources, health issues, everything. Make sure who you buy from is going to offer you that support system. Especially being new in the business, Keith, you don't know.
And what will happen, a lot of times people are intimidated to go to these sales. And the one thing that I'm trying to do is break down people where they're not so intimidated. Deer farmers are just, at some point, Kevin didn't know any more than the people watching at home knew about whitetail deer. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And me too. And what we had to do, we had to learn, and we learned from each other. And we've got a real good network of people, and that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to help educate people. And coming to a deer farm is a good way to get a really good education real quick, and also see some really good looking deer. Okay, so the age of the bucks that's in this pen, how old are they?
The white tags are 2-year-olds. The fuchsia or pink is 3-year-olds.
Okay. Oh my goodness, just take a look at this. This is absolutely incredible. Now these deer right here, you've got deer that will be bought as breeder stock from other deer farmers. And then you've got deer that will be stalker deer that I like to call pasture deer that will go into somebody's piece of property to help improve the genetic makeup of the deer herd there.
That's right.
But the cool thing about being in Missouri, okay, is that y'all are able to move deer, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can move deer to just about any state that allows deer farming.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to, say, if they were in Oklahoma and they wanted to get deer, I mean, purchase deer from you, you could take them to Oklahoma?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Okay, and I don't know how many states there are that are open to deer farming, or their borders are open at this point, but I would highly recommend, if you're interested in getting in deer farming and you're interested in getting with some great genetics, call somebody like Kevin. And Kevin's he can handle the permits. You do everything, don't you?
We do turnkey. That's what we specialize in. We specialize in from A to Z, everything. And then once they get to your farm, we specialize in making sure that you can take care and manage your farm. We work with a lot of managers and individual owners throughout the country. And I mean throughout the country. We're in a support system throughout the country. That's what we do.
In deer farming, record keeping is key. And with a lot of animals, it can become difficult. But now as the industry has grown, so has the technology to help us. There's one particular program out there called GMS that we personally use. And it saves me a lot of time and effort. It's got a lot of neat features. You're able to track your animals. You can even do online DNA submissions now. Just a lot of great tools to help a deer farmer keep their records straight.
It's time for viewer feedback. brought to you by the Deer and Wildlife Stories YouTube channel. This one is from Ricky, and he is from Missouri. He says, Keith, I finally visited a deer farm thanks to your show. I was amazed at how much deer farmers care for their deer and the amount of time, money, and hard work they put into the farms. They are great people and really care about the health of the deer herd. Ricky, you're exactly right. You know what? Anybody who visits a deer farm is going to have to agree with you. I mean, deer farmers are a rare breed of people. We do care about the deer, and we do everything we can because of our love of the deer. And if you haven't visited a deer farm out there, I would recommend you doing so. And you're going to find out, like Ricky did, that deer farmers, they're just good people. Got a question about deer farming or a comment about the show? I'd love to hear from you. Make sure and shoot me an email, and also watch all of our programs and outtakes as well right here on the Deer and Wildlife Stories YouTube channel. Most deer farmers today are using the DNA profiles to, well, look at the pedigrees, and I encourage everybody to look at the pedigrees. But Kevin not only looks at the pedigrees, he looks at something else, especially on the does.
This is a doe that we call Babysitter. Obviously, you understand why with that name. But she has a hardcore daughter going back into the famous Fleeces Pebbles line. Her pedigree is second to none. She has a tremendous pedigree, being a poncho daughter, which is what a lot of people in the industry like. But we want to look a little farther past that at Whitetail Sales than just the pedigree. She has a very long conformation, long torso, long-legged, huge udder. All these things we find are very, very important for raising big bucks. And then her temperament is second to none. But conformation on a doe means a lot to Whitetail Sales. This is Deer and Wildlife Stories with Keith Warren. We'll be right back.
Deer and Wildlife Stories is brought to you in part by buckbreeders.com, DNA Solutions and the North American Deer Registry, New Dart, Shock Effect Probiotics, and Keith Warren's Texas Hidden Springs Ranch, the best value for Texas trophy deer hunting. You know, nobody is successful all by themselves. They've got somebody that they're working with. And I'm going to tell you about Colin Briggs. Kevin has got a young man by the name of Colin Briggs. He's awesome. If he wasn't working for Kevin, I'd want him working for me. He's honest and he's soft-spoken and he's knowledgeable as he can be. And he loves these deer, and he has learned from the master. He has learned from Kevin Grace the deer business. And so nobody is successful all by themselves. And Kevin's lucky to have Colin, absolutely. But you know what? Colin's pretty doggone lucky to have Kevin too. Okay, I got to ask you a question. First off, I want y'all to know something. When I started the television show, before I started, I had to get to know Kevin. I've got to know Kevin very, very well since then. Yeah, first I thought you were just a deer auction guy. I thought that you just ran the biggest deer auctions in the country. And then all of a sudden I get to know you, and it's like, no, you've got an unbelievable deer farm. These deer are proof of that. And you have helped out more people in the deer industry than just about anybody I know. Literally, you're on the telephone all the time. You're helping them out. I'm thinking, what makes you tick? Why do you do this? What is it that down deep inside, what is it about Kevin Grace that makes you want to do this? Because it's a lot of hard work.
It's real simple. It's passion. It's that simple. I've been ate up and consumed with deer my entire life since I was an infant, going hunting the first time, begging to go hunting the first time. I had to graduate from catechism before my father and mother would let me go, and I was just consumed from that whole time on. When I found out I could raise deer, the passion was just there, and I have never got enough yet. I have never got enough yet.
Oh, I just think what's so cool about this industry is that every single deer farmer I know, and I know a whole bunch of them, every single one of them has got that same passion for the whitetail deer.
And it's more than that, Keith. Nearly all of us are consumed with conservation, protecting the wild deer and our deer. It goes beyond just the captive deer, way beyond that. I put out 25 acres of crops a year for the wild deer.
Just to watch them?
Just to watch them. Well, to hunt them too. Now, I like to hunt. Let's not lose track of that.
Well, you watch them, then you hunt them.
I watch them and I hunt them, but I'm putting forth those. I'm slowly killing off fescue fields and stuff, trying to get back to native grasses to supply the wildlife quail and stuff like that. I mean, that's what I'm all about. I am
active.
ate up with the outdoors.
Yep, very active conservationist, as all deer farmers are. And I look at it and I think, we're here on this television show to help educate people, to help people understand more about deer farming and more about our commitment to wildlife and conservation. And Kevin, your Whitetail Sales and Service is built for one reason, is to help customers. And if somebody wants more information on getting into deer farming, or if you're a deer farmer and you're trying to improve your genetics, I mean, there's a lot of guys want to improve their genetics, or you just want to talk about what's going to take to get into deer farming, give them a telephone number they can call you.
Well, office number is 573-392-8230. My manager's number is 409-626-4086. Call any of us. I mean, we're open 24 hours a day to talk deer.
And you've also got a really good website. Now, if you're a deer farmer, you need to be aware that he sells just about everything that you could really need for deer farming. Now, he's got a really cool website. You know, as deer farmers, we always need little stuff. I mean, whether it's syringes or there's lots of little things that we need. And you sell stuff, you have an e-store that's online. You do e-commerce, and if somebody wants to, you know, buy bottles or just about anything for a deer farm, you can get them from Kevin online. It's an e-store, if you will. And all you gotta do is go on there and you can pick out all kinds of products and you'll just drop ship right to somebody's farm, don't you?
That's right, correct.
All right, what is the website address on that?
Whitetailsales.com.
I'm looking at these deer and going, you know what, middle of August, they still got a couple weeks to go, and I mean, they're very, very impressive.
I'm Colin Briggs, and Deer and Wildlife Stories will be right back.
You know, when you know somebody for a long period of time, you really think you know everything about them. And I know that a lot of my friends that I've known for a long period of time, I'll learn something about them and say, you know, I really didn't know that about you. And that's kind of the way it is with Kevin Grace. A lot of people think they know everything about him. I think you probably really don't. I mean, just like with anybody else, there's always something to learn. But with Kevin, I mean, when you get to know Kevin, there's a whole lot more to Kevin than just a guy that runs some of the best deer auctions in the country or a guy that winds up growing some great big deer. Kevin has got a heart so big, I don't know how he gets in his chest. He is generous, he's kind, he's smart as can be, he's outspoken, and he's a leader in this industry. And that's one reason why I respect him so much, because he is a leader in the deer industry.
Believe it or not, there are a lot of people out there that don't even know Kevin Grace is a deer farmer. But he is, and we have a lot of great deer here. And that is all because he has lined up the genetics right.
You know, one thing, I'll have comments come to me via email. People say, oh, you've genetically, you know, manipulated those deer. I go, yeah. People go, but you did? Yep. And you know what? And every one of you at home has been genetically manipulated. Your mama and your daddy made you. And all we wound up doing is taking a mom and a daddy deer and made them. And every one of these deer, I mean, look how beautiful and majestic they are. Not one of them was by accident. Every one was deliberate, wasn't it?
Yes, Keith, you're right. We deliberately breed each mother and each father. Single-sire breeding for each one.
So we're genetically manipulating them. We absolutely are.
To a point, you're right, to a point.
I mean, but that's no big deal. So anybody says that, I don't listen to them anyway, but I mean, I did want to address that. But talk about, as we talk about genetics and lining up the sire and the dam, how important is the registry, the North American Deer Registry, to this whole business?
Oh, it's very important. I wouldn't purchase a deer without using it. You know, they guarantee you the father and they guarantee you the mother every time. And for the kind of money that's traded on these deer, why would you not use it? And Keith, I think there's like 135,000 whitetail registered now.
There are. There's a bunch registered, and what it is, it just gives you as a buyer peace of mind.
Gives you that confidence, you're right.
You know, Kevin, I want to tell you thank you for having us out again this year. I mean, it's nice to be able to come back to a farm year after year after year and see things mature, and to get to see you again, spend some time with you again, get to know you better, and I really appreciate that. But I want to tell you, on behalf of me and the entire deer industry, I want to tell you thank you, because we as an industry are a better industry partly because of you, and because of your involvement, your commitment, your passion, your enthusiasm, and your support. And I mean, thank you. I mean, it's
well, you're welcome. Thank you for your support.
I mean, this is something that it goes both ways. I mean, and with deer farming, we're all in this, we're all in family together. We all need to look for that common thread that brings us all together, and it's the white-tailed deer. Now, if somebody wants more information on Whitetail sales and service, how would they get a hold of you? And let's close this thing out.
Our website is whitetailsales.com. Our office phone number is 573-392-8230. Colin's phone number, which is a great individual to visit with, is 409-626-4086. Sharp guy.
Tell you what, this is therapeutic for me. Coming and sitting here, I know it's therapeutic for you. All of us that are deer farmers, we take a lot of pride and a lot of joy just sitting back, looking what we're taking care of, what's our responsibility to take care of. Well, the good Lord gives us time on this earth, and I'll tell you something, being a deer farmer is some kind of good life. Thanks again.
Thank you, Keith.
This is beautiful. These deer are absolutely magnificent. If you'd like to watch full episodes of our program 24/7 online in full high definition, log on to my website at deerandwildlifestories.com. There you'll find the shows, but you'll also find a lot of outtakes and behind the scenes videos as well. That's deerandwildlifestories.com. Reproductive services for Deer and Wildlife Stories is provided by Dr. Ray Favero's Whitetail Genetics.